To hip-hop, I had to come into the DJ booth with the one and only Funk Master Flex. How are you doing?
Lisa?
I'm doing great.
So,
State of emergency in hip-hop?
absolutely always.
I'm in love with the
Hip-hop can seem like a non-stop stream of lyrics about drug dealing, sexy women, guns, and violence.
A lot of people about the fast money, getting there fast, tomorrow.
Like a drug game.
Yeah, like drugs.
Flex says too many aspiring artists mistakenly think they can buy a career.
Blow money fast, get to the top fast, sound like the next guy to get to the top fast. You go down just as quick. So I'm okay with that.
Flex tells me the real hip-hop crisis is a lack of creativity.
There definitely isn't as much originality in hip-hop as it used to be. Being original was the blueprint for success in years past.
Top 97 Funk Flex.
But the super influential DJ says there are artists who stay true to their voice and make great music, just not as many as before.
You have Kendrick Lamar, you have J. Cole, you have the Nas's of the world, the Drakes, the Jay-Z's of the world, Future.
They're the artists who earn an accolade as sought after as any award statue.
See now that bomb sound? I mean, Lisa already knows what that is. That bomb sound is so important because your record is trash, you just get silence. But if your record is rocking, it gets that.
One new artist who gets the approval is Patterson's own Fetty Wap. Flex says he's creative and original, and it's paying off.
He's doing it a little bit the old-fashioned way. Hot record, put it in the street, it works in the clubs. Okay, it's working for me. Everyone's looking at me, I'll put out 10 more hot records. This guy hasn't missed.
As hip-hop music and culture continue to flood mainstream society, some critics and fans are wondering if it's lost its soul and if making money has become more important than making music. So what's really going on? Joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers, Manolo Rose. He's a rapper from Bed-Stuy, and you hear his joint with French Montana on Hot 97 right now. It's called Super Flex. And Manolo, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it. Also with us is Elliott Wilson. He is the GOAT, and if you don't know what the GOAT is, it stands for the greatest of all time of hip-hop journalism, and he's the CEO and co-founder of Rap Radar, and he's interviewed the biggest and most influential names in hip-hop throughout the many years.
Now I'm back on Lisa's show, so now I'm doing it.
Now you're
I'm
back
out
with
again.
us on Street Soldiers, which is fantastic. Great to have you back, Elliott. Thank you so much. Also with us is Masta Ace. He started out in the early days of hip-hop as a founding member of the Juice Crew, working with Marley Marl. He's been an MC since, 1988, since the 80s, the crack era.
Longer than that, but yeah.
Wow.
On record since '88.
And you're currently working on a new single, and you've been in the music business the whole time.
Whole time since '88. This has been my livelihood.
And so you got a perspective that nobody else has.
Probably.
All right.
Me and Elliott been around about the same amount of time, so.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. And we're happy to have you, and happy to have Manolo too. But let me ask you this. One of the things that I keep hearing from people, they say that hip-hop is in a little bit of a state of emergency because the creativity has been taken over by this commercialism. Elliott, what do you think about that?
I mean, we always critique hip-hop. To love hip-hop is to be very critical of it, and especially in the culture we're in now, because like I wanted to be a journalist so I could get all the music and be first to say this is good or this is bad. But now everyone gets that freedom through social media. You know, once a song comes out, everyone gets to critique it. I think, yeah, we always challenge our culture to be more creative. I think one thing that's happened that maybe sapped a little of the creativity is that you're able to get your music out on your own terms now, and it's a quick satisfaction to get a song out. And when you first start making music, you kind of mimic what's around till you find your voice, you know, as an artist. Like, and so I think now you have a lot of people that, like entry level, they'll just throw a song on SoundCloud that'll just sound not as innovative, but it may take off. It may be a hit. It may be a regional hit that then gets bigger. So I think that's what's kind of affected the creativity, where it's so much easier to create music now and to get your music out. You don't need a radio station. You don't need my cosign. You could draw it up on a link. And I think that instant gratification is kind of, you know, tapped into the creativity and maybe damaged it a little bit. And but I think hip hop's in a great state right now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Masta Ace, what difference do you see in artists today and being an artist today compared to when you were starting out?
I mean, in the early days, I mean, first of all, let me just say that the commercialism of hip-hop has always been here. Corporate America figured out way back in the 80s that this was a viable way to promote and market their products, whatever they may be, whether it's McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever it is. So that was figured out a long time ago. Commercialism has always been there. I think the shift, as far as what I can see, the shift has been what is on the radio commercially for people to hear, to consume. All of a sudden, there was a time in this industry where you had a great mixture of types of artists, types of music, all on the radio at the same time, even doing tours together. NWA and Big Daddy Kane on tour together. That's two different, completely different types of music, but they were on tour together. And now, what we hear on commercial radio, on TV, what we see with the visually, everything that's being pushed out there commercially is all kind of one thing, and it's kind of all the same. Either it's drug dealing, you know, making it rain, you know, drug using, that it's all that, and we need to figure out why that is.
Manolo Rose, what do you think about the state of hip hop as an artist that's coming up now?
I mean, I honestly believe that hip hop is in a great state, and I'm saying that just because of the fact that the beauty of the internet is that you can actually click the name that you want to listen to. Now, if you don't like what's necessarily on the radio, or you don't like a specific artist, you don't have to YouTube his name. You can just simply put the person in that you want to listen to, and that's just where we're at with it right now, you know. So we have this thing where you know, people get of a certain age, right, and they don't really realize that you now have become your grandmother and your grandfather. I don't mean that in a bad way. It just
what do you mean in terms of the music?
No, what I mean by that is this: you hear a lot of people when they get of a certain age, right, and they say, "Damn, why is his pants like that?" Right? Or why does the music sound like that? Or why, you know, when I hear it, it don't make me feel like it made me feel.
You can't beat the 90s.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So you had the same thing. Like when you was a kid in the 90s, and, you know, you see now with kids, you know, they critiquing, you know, everything as far as like how you look, how you dress, and so on and so on. And, you know, if you look at it from that perspective, on a way where when you were a child and your mother was listening to you playing the music, and she like, damn, why these kids' pants are getting so big? What is this? This beat, I can't even understand. What is he talking about?
What is Future saying?
Right, what is he saying? So now we at the same.
Why can't they speak proper English?
Right, exactly. You know, we at the same point that we are now. We are at the same point as we were then.
Coming up,
the stuff that's going on has nothing to do with hip hop music.
What up, you guys? It's 7th Streeter, and you're watching Lisa Evers' Street Soldiers on Fox 5.
When you have a song that's playing on Hot 97, like Superflex, and with an artist that's so hot like French Montana, do people start calling you? Do you get followers? Like, what kind of give us a
how
little bit
of DMs looking, Manolo?
You know, how's that?
No, you get a ton of that, and I think that's the beauty of it all, you know. So, especially for myself, you know, I didn't. This wasn't my plan. I didn't try to do music.
Really?
You know, just kind of happened.
What were you trying to tell us a little bit about?
I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, I was into design and all sorts of other things.
On the street, a little bit on the street, okay.
Right, you know,
entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial.
Right. There you go. And, you know, I was into, you know, other things. So I was trying to, you know, I just had a turn of events where, you know, I created something, it worked, and that was it. You know, so to see myself now at this point, you know, I'm just happy I'm here.
You're like,
what's that feeling like as an artist when you make that one thing and it takes off?
Sure. For me, it was very humbling, you know what I mean, because I really, you know, I felt really good, you know, and excited, but at the same time, you know, I was like, shoot, this is happening, you know what I mean, and I'm just kind of person where when I lay down at night, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get ahead of it, you know, because you can see some things just grow without you, and nobody wouldn't even know what you actually did it at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like people make a song today, and they could just shoot everywhere across the net and just go crazy, but you know might not have any videos, no interviews, nobody know how you look. And you could be, your name could be famous.
No follow-up record. You gotta have a follow-up record.
You don't have anything.
That's the thing. We was even talking about off mic. We were talking about Kanye just changed the title of his album to Waves, right? And then everybody's like, I think Wiz Khalifa went on there and said, you know, Max B's the wave, and
you can't tell the wave.
You almost got to be prepared. I'm like, if you're gonna say something, you have to now put it out there. You have to be ready for the reaction to what you're gonna do in real time. You know what I mean? You almost have to get ahead of it. Like as if Kanye would have said, with all respect to Max B, I'm calling the album Waves. Everybody's quiet. It's all thumbs up. But if you just throw something out there. You also have to almost interpret what the people are going to say. What's the reaction going to be? I think what's great about artists is they're not allowing it to stunt their creativity, because now you get judged so quick. You know, it's not me judging you, it's everyone judging you.
I mean, the comments are out there,
right there. You get an instant reaction. There's no like focus group to tell you if you're popping or not, or if this is working or not. Like you said, you have to adapt or you die. But now you have to do it at rapid fire. You have to do it fast.
But is there a danger in that too? Because one of the things Flex talked about was kind of insta fame, like people buying followers, people trying to make themselves hot, people trying to make themselves, you know, look like they're more popping than they really are. What about that?
Snapchat is sizzling.
That's not organic. That's not a real thing. So the appearance, it looks great on paper, but when it comes down to it, when you're talking about actual people ready to go spend their money on you, it's not there. So you got 1 million followers, but you only sold, you know, 5,000 records. Like, what's really going on here? It has to be organic and real. That's why I would never buy any of that stuff, because I want to know that the 100,000 or whatever it is are real people that actually said, I like Masta Ace, I'm going to click on this and follow him.
But is there a danger? I mean, you talk about how an artist can have control of his or her own product right now, their own creativity. They can make it. They don't have to raise tens of thousands of dollars to get studio time to do it. They can do it like on a laptop or sometimes even on a phone. But is there a danger that everybody thinks they're an artist now? Everybody thinks they're a rapper?
And it's harder to get noticed as an artist because everyone's on there. Like there's kids that like don't want, like the thing about today's audience is that they're insatiable. Like they want to know everything from the past. They want to know everything going on now, and they want to more importantly know what's going to happen next. And to me, what's important is like you could also make noise and have a moment, but how do you sustain that moment? How do you get somebody to care a week later, 2 weeks later? It seems like 2 months is a lifetime if you're on social media and things like that. So how do you maintain interest? That's the biggest challenge to me. And I think we all struggle with, no matter how successful you are, whatever your scale, it's how to monetize, because so much of this culture is doing it for free or not figuring out that there's this direct revenue stream with this. So we all challenge ourselves to figure out how to monetize our work, you know, on whatever level. So I think sometimes the bad side is that you could look like Ace was saying, like, according to what you have out there, you look like you have it going on, but how are you paying your bills? Because your Snapchat's on fire, but like, what money's really coming in? You're at the club, are you getting paid to be in the club? Like, you know, how are you really making money?
Coming up, is hip-hop to blame for the violence on our streets?
Street soldiers, you already know what it is. Your boy Fresh Montana, Lisa Evans. You know, I'm always tuned in. Holla at your boy Montana, NYC. Love y'all. Fox 5.
Hip-hop's connection to the streets.
Uh-oh.
When people...
Manolo, you ready?
Yeah. You ready for this? We've seen certain situations with Bobby Shmurda, for example. Very serious case brought against him and other members of his variously referred GS9 crew, which also happened to, according to prosecutors, be the name of his set of the Crips that he was operating with in Brooklyn. His mother says those were just childhood friends. They always hung out together, but obviously he's facing a lot of serious legal problems. We see the whole thing with Lil Wayne, with Baby, with the whole situation going down in Atlanta that's been persisting and bubbling up for a while there. And some people are concerned that the hip-hop, especially for the kids and those who are in the most vulnerable situations, low-income areas, crime, you know, areas where crime is a real problem, that it's kind of like reinforcing to them that it's okay to shoot people, it's okay to deal drugs, it's okay to disrespect women, it's okay to do these things that are very antisocial. That's what some critics say. What do you think about that, Masta Ace?
Well, I want to be clear here. Music, hip-hop music is really the backstory. The stuff that's going on has nothing to do with hip-hop music. It just so happens that these particular people made a record, and it was a hot record, but whatever was going on in their lives before they ever made that record was still going on when the record came out and was popping on the radio. So whatever lifestyle that they were leading up to that record coming out, they just kept doing what they were doing. And so people try to kind of put, you know, it on hip-hop or on the music, like this is what's hip-hop is creating this. That's not what's happening.
But is it reinforcing?
Hip-hop was their way out, right? That was
it may be the artist's way out, but what parents will say and have said on this show and say to me a lot is that and also older sisters and brothers and uncles and aunts and everybody that's concerned about our kids, they'll say when you're talking about shooting somebody in a very casual way over and over again, that the lyrics that are in hip-hop are so powerful because they get repeated, that there's obviously, if it's a hit song, there's something very catchy about it.
You're
from Bed-Stuy, Manolo.
I am. You know, I'm from Marcy Projects. So I would love to ask any person, was there shootings and killings in any poor neighborhood where hip-hop, let's just say in India, people are getting shot there too, and all across the globe. Anywhere that you see poverty, this is what you're going to get out of it. It has nothing to do with music, and it has nothing to do with somebody saying, that's like saying, you know, they watch movies all the time, right? And you have a movie like, let's say a movie like John Wick, where he just kills 100,000 people, like all through the movie. That's all he's doing, right? But no one says like, John Wick made my kid go out there and just start killing people and doing karate moves while he doing it. You know what I mean? So you'll see that anywhere where there's poverty, right, and people are broke, no one's happy to sell drugs. No one is want to shoot anybody. You know, if you gave somebody another option and he had another alternative in order to make some money, then he will. That's just what it is. Now, when he makes a record, right, what do you want him to talk about? Something that he's never seen before, or is he gonna reflect a reality? May not even be his, but someone's reality.
I'm only concerned that when it gets a little desensitized. I feel like we was joking a little bit, and it's not really a joke how we're in this culture now where it's like if you're trying to rob somebody or do dirty to somebody, you feel like you have to tape it. You know what I mean? You incriminate yourself. Like you run up with a camera, like if I'm gonna jump you and steal something from you, me and my boys are gonna jump you, we gotta have a camera ready to tape the action while we do it. So I think that's what happens. I think there's a little more we're a little desensitized as a society, the youth, and I think that's something that's alarming and needs to be looked at. You know what I mean?
I really don't. Well, you know, I don't think it's the lack of. I think the lack of care comes from the fact of wanting fame and to be famous. You know what I mean? Because
the shock value,
right?
To get famous,
it's the notice, the attention, no matter what.
Right. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. So you know you'll see like a thing where it's like, all right, people are taping fights now, right? And they put on World Star. You know, you'll become famous. You know, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get any money from it, but just in your neighborhood, people will be like, "Yo, I saw you on World Star." Yes, you know what I mean? That's just what it is at this point in time. So that's why people are doing it.
Ready for that Young Thug album, Lisa? We talked earlier.
Listen, I like the music. What can I say? Right. You know, love me or hate me, but I'm going to tell it like it is.
I think last year was very exciting with releases, and I think, like I said, we got you know, Drake, Kanye, everybody's coming out, man. I think it's going to be an active year, and it's always want to see who's going to be the next person to take their career to another level. Like I think it could be someone like Young Thug. I'm excited to see what he comes up with.
And our guest right here in the studio too.
Of course.
Manolo, what's ahead, real quick?
Yeah, we have this another new project coming out. It's called Soul of a Rose. You know, it's gonna be really, really good. You know, it's gonna have a lot of elements of pain and passion. You're gonna get to feel that as well.
All right, great. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear that. Thank you so much for being with us, Manolo Rose, Elliott Wilson, Masta Ace.
Yes.
We're gonna end with you on this. What can we expect this spring?
The new album is called The Falling Season. It's actually going to take you back to 1980, my freshman year of high school, and I'm going to take you through those 4 years of my high school and tell that whole entire story. What was happening in Brooklyn, in my life, in the neighborhood where I went to high school at, which is Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn. I'm going to tell that story in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. I want to thank all of you for being with us for this episode of Street Soldiers on the State of Hip Hop. Manolo Rose, Elliott Wilson, and Masta Ace. And remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace. I'm here with the one and only Diddy. I still call him Pop because we go way back. The hip hop vote or die, the education.
Even before that, I'm a lifelong friend here. I'm so proud of you. One of the best in the game. Yeah.
All right.